decision and a great hold in that regard.
Absolutely. So now we do have Sats coming in from Team SMI. And as I stated before, Team SMI did give us some bio information for their players. We like to contact the team captains before the matches that we cast to get some biographic information on the players so that we can get to know them a little bit better, that they're more than just a name on a screen and a race. They are a person, and we can potentially
These are
grow to
people,
follow
people.
grow to follow their careers, as a lot of these players are looking very, very strong. So Sats is a 20-year-old player, and he is one of the newest additions to Team SMI. And apparently, he was put in the lineup tonight by the captain because he wanted to see what his viability was in Clan Wars. So this is Sats having to prove himself for the first time as a viable member for the team. Let's see if he's able to do so.
And I just want to say a big thank you to Twilight Hero in chat, saying some nice things, and Sixer and a couple of the people seconding it. So we appreciate that, and we ask that you share this link around with your friends and get more people in on the cool SC2CTL action. Also follow us on Twitter at WingNetSC at Galligation. That is the biggest kudos we can get. We appreciate that. Oh yeah, you're special, Mr. Twilight. We're glad you joined us this evening, along with everyone else. And
Thank you so much, people.
Iba Newman, don't harass everybody too much. Iba Newman is the creator of SC2CTL, so give a big wave hi to him. And,
Absolutely. And before we jump into this next game, I do want to remind you guys that you can find StarCraft 2 CTL on Facebook, Twitter, and Reddit. You'll be able to get caught up on the current information in terms of what tournaments are going on, when they're happening, when the casts are happening, who's winning, all sorts of good stuff like that. So make sure to check those out. Big shout out to DOS Keyboard, who is the sponsor for the tournament. They are providing 5 keyboards to the winning team and being really cool about it. So thank you so much, DOS, for supporting esports. We do appreciate it.
Yeah, I always do forget about Facebook. I can't believe I forget about that, but I also do have a Facebook page, /WingNetSC, so if you prefer Facebook, do look me up on there. Galligation hasn't created himself one yet.
No, I haven't.
But that's okay. But I think we're ready to jump into Game 3. The score's tied 1-1. It's turning out to be a great series.
Absolutely. We've been seeing some great play.
So here we go. In our lower right-hand corner from Team SMI, he is the challenger to take on Mr. City. It is Sats.
And in the top left-hand corner, representing Team NrG, having an amazing hold against Zerg aggression in the previous game, it is City.
So it looks like the same map as last time, Belshir Vestige. This is one of the ones that's coming out of the pool next season, correct?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, this is actually, I like this map. For a 2-base play, I really love it. For once you get into the 3-base, it's a little bit harder, especially as Protoss, I think. Because this 3rd base is so far away. This 3rd base is so far away. It's just, I mean, unless you're going for a big air army, I think it's really hard to defend. But I know Zerg likes it because if you get that creep spread around, it's fairly easy to get your quick units around. So I think more of a Zerg famed map.
For sure, but if on the other side of the coin, if you do see Zerg taking a 3rd base, you can pretty much assume they're going to try and get something that's a little bit quick moving on the map to try and secure those bases and have some map control. If you see 2-base, then you might be a little bit more wary as to what's going on. Ooh, great block on that spawn pool by the probe. Did delay it a few seconds.
Yeah, one interesting play I've seen, I believe it was from Naniwa in WCS EU, the Season 2 Finals, is to do the Forge Fast Expand or Gateway Expand out here at the front. Looks like it is going to be Forge first this time. And by the time Warp Gate finishes will be about the time that Zerg is taking his 3rd base over here, and you put a pylon in this general region and warp in like 6 Zealots, 3, then wait for the gateways to refresh and 3 more. You can almost always take out that hatch from what I've seen at that timing, so that seems kind of cool, and I've only seen that from Naniwa so far.
City doing an amazing job of denying this hatchery going down at the natural. Had a pylon down, but it did get canceled, and now he's just microing around trying to make sure that probe, or that drone rather, is not able to put that hatch down. But now it's in just a It looks like, oh, he spent the minerals down, so he isn't able to put it
Yeah,
down now.
he actually put down his third first.
Ah, there it is.
Twilight, it is best of 9, so first to 5 wins.
So we've got plenty of games coming up. Definitely spread the word, as we will be continuing to cast for quite some time tonight.
Zergling's coming around to make sure that probe isn't hanging around. Probably going to check up this side here too to make sure that pylon I was talking about didn't go down. And it looks like not a whole lot of fancy coming out so far. It is still only at the 4-minute mark, so no gas coming out from Zerg. See those Zerglings looking around on that attack move Q to make sure there's no pylon down here. Very smart by Sats.
Absolutely. You really want to make sure that you can keep those bases once you put them down. Many of Zerg have died on the ladder to cannons and stray pylons.
So he's doing a really good job scouting around those lings as opposed to running in, because he does have an overlord here, so he can see that the front is pretty well protected with that cannon, now the wall being completed. So using those lings very effectively to do some scouting. It would be good if he sent a couple to the other side, though.
City did poke his probe back in, and he did see that the natural base did go down, so he knows that Sats is on 3 bases at the moment.
Absolutely. Quitty P. That's the hardest thing I find when I'm playing against Zerg is I like to put those pylons down a lot, pretty much all over the place in a lot of attack paths, and when a Zerg uses the lings so effectively like this, it's really hard and it really screws you up so bad when every pylon you put down keeps getting found. Looks like Stargate's going to be the choice for our city player this time. Getting his warp gate down as well.
And just big macro play for Sats. He's just going for those drones, man, and that's what he wants to do at this early stage of the game, get his economy up, especially if City's playing defensively, which he appears to be.
Yeah, Sat's not seeing a whole lot out of City so far. I mean, he does have that. I think Sats, if we look at units, he does not have anything but 1 Zealot at this point. So both players being very skimpy on the units. So that's definitely a good thing for each other, because if one of them was going for something, they would be in big trouble. But if you let Mr. Sats here get too far ahead of himself with being able to make all these drones, he's going to be able to put some hurt on City here.
And we do see an Oracle being made right now, so that is going to be able to do a lot of damage to those drones. There are only queens on the map, really, that shoot up at the moment. There are no spore crawlers, and there is not creep connecting those bases, so the queens are not going to be able to support each other.
Sats had a Zergling present here to be able to tell when this expansion went down, so he does know that City's putting down a 3rd, so he's going to know that it's about time to swing into action here, as he's making probably one last round of 8 drones here, 9 now, as he's going to start making some units here pretty soon now, as both gases going down in the main. Both gases are down already in the natural, so we'll see what he ends up moving into. Roach Warren is going to be the choice, so it looks like maybe possibly Roach Hydra, which is a very strong composition right now.
There are 6 kills on that Oracle now, 7. And it needs to get out of there, though. That Queen is going to kill it. Gets out with 16 hull points left. But was very effective there, able to do a decent amount.
Yeah, now 2 queens at the 3rd base. He's going to use that to spread some creep up. Likely going to want to take this base and expand sort of towards but away from his opponent. If he was to take this one with City expanding towards the right here, that may be a little bit more dangerous, but City's going to be moving out with a Hallucinated Phoenix at a good time, about 9 minutes, to see what kind of tech is coming down.
There's also a Void Ray sitting in the middle of the map, and 2 more Stargates in production for City as well, so he's going to be doing some airplay.
Yeah, he's coming down here. The Roach Warren is right here in between the main and the natural, so he is going to scout that out here as he comes through all the buildings scouting. That's the Queen going to be shooting at that Phoenix, but oh, it does just barely get away. 4th base now going down for Sats too, as he's taking the gas before it's even half done, so he's gonna have some idle geyser time here before there's even creep there. It's an interesting thing too that the geysers don't die off creep.
That is correct. They kind of just hang out. They're their own thing.
Oracle now coming back in, doing some target firing of the drones, but ends up getting back out before those shields are fully depleted again. Looked like it was doing a little bit of dancery there.
11 kills now too.
Yeah. Oh, he really wants that gas. He's mining it before the hatch is even done there. So You must be having some gas play with these 11 Hydras coming in, so Roach Hydra, it's going to be melee upgrades coming down as well.
And Hydra is a really good transition here, as there are Protoss air weapons being researched. There are Void Rays coming out.
Wow, that's a lot of Void Rays for this time of the game, and with the Hydra's Spire now coming down as well, so Spire plus, is this purely Hydra right now? If we look at the unit tab, there's no Roaches, so it's 12 Hydras alone, so if these Hydras get a good footing on creep here, they could thwart these Void Rays pretty well.
Oh, but now we see City putting down 6 gateways and a Twilight Council, so he is going to be doing a ground army transition here, which may catch Sats off guard, as he's making a lot to deal with this air.
Yeah, Sat's not really doing a whole lot to come back and defend his bases here, as he's just going for the counter push against this third base, but Mothership Core is there, so he's going to get a Photon Overcharge down, target those cannons down right away. So he's going to get this Nexus down most likely quite easily, as there's not much here to defend, and that Photon Overcharge is not so good against Zerglings.
The Void Rays do take out the third base, though, of Sats, and doing some great micro to save those Void Rays. If he turned those 3 around, he could save or kill that Queen, but it looks like they're just...
Yeah, he's going to have to pull his Void Rays back, because he's got big trouble at the front of his base. This Ling Hydra army is pushing, making a real big issue of this at the front.
Great force fields to keep them out as the buildings fall, though.
Yeah, that is definitely, he's thanking himself for having all those sentries.
But look at this ground army. I mean, he's just swelling all over the place.
Yeah, Templar coming down as well, so that's going to be amazingly strong against Zergling Hydra. That is literally the thing that can just make them evaporate. But so many Void Rays. We've seen this. I've seen this before. I think it was White Raw with largely Void Ray army along with Templar and Storm. It was really, really amazing, especially against these light units like this.
And Sats is putting down, rebuilding a 3rd and a 4th base, but for a decent amount of time there, he's only on 2 bases. He has a decent number of probes that are remote mining from that previous 3rd.
Looks like the Ling's going to poke into the 3rd base of City here, trying to be established, but does not want to make a huge issue of it, as there is a lot of Void Rays there. So, oh, he's going to catch some Overlords here out of position.
Yeah, those are kind of in the middle of the map.
300 minerals you'll never see again.
Yeah, it does supply block him by a decent amount, too, so he's going to be waiting for Ovies to pop in order to resupply anything at this point.
Storm is done, and oh, amazing Storm goes down on those Hydras.
And those are the units that he really wants to kill at this point. Those are the only ones that can hurt his Void Rays. And the Hydra count is very low.
Mutalisk in the main base of City right now, too, clearing it out of probes. So City doing a great job now attacking at the 3rd, basically just drawing the units away as these Hydras destroy the main base. The Nexus is going to go down, and he's going to take himself a huge lead off of this.
Those mutas definitely coming in unexpectedly from City.
Templar Archive is going to go down as well. That's going to be a big hit now, as City chrono boosts out some Phoenix.
And City's army is looking a little bit indecisive. It looked like he was going to run down and try and do some base damage, but then deciding to pull back.
It's hard to say the state of the players here. I mean, City does have his 3rd up and established, while Sats has just got a few drones at his. But he does have 4 bases to basically 2 now, so if City cannot hold this off and do some real damage here, Sats is going to start to climb up real fast, as now the food count's growing, 170 almost to 130.
And that muta army is huge. There are 19 mutas there, and they are just doing huge damage, taking down so many structures in the main. The Phoenix are coming in, but frankly, those mutas could take care of it on their own if they pulled back a little bit. The Void Rays are coming in, and they're a little bit more formidable, but looks like Sats is feeling good about this engagement. He's going to roll right in, and he is going to do huge damage to those Void Rays. Oh my goodness, trying to micro those back, deal damage with the Phoenix, but he is losing a few, and resupply with some of the Phoenix. The Phoenix are faster than the mutas, so they can do a little bit of micro on it.
Yeah, but that's just not enough units to deal with those Mutalisks, because that's only, you need the opposite number of Void Rays to Phoenix there, and he might have a chance to deal with this, but all of his tech structure is going down, so this is going to put City in a huge hole. City has no way to put pressure. There's also a counterattack going on at the 3rd as well. Now the Corruptors here are going to thwart the Phoenix a bit, as they will soak up the shots of the Phoenix being armored. Those Phoenix don't do a lot of damage to him either.
We do see the remnants rather of City's ground army moving forward again, trying to do some kind of economic damage.
City now realizing the only thing he can do is attack, so he's moving out, and Sats senses that as he pulls his army back as well. some Lings heading across the map here, but it looks like he's gonna.
Oh, they could catch that High Templar off guard. Oh, but the
amazing
Ooh.
storm.
But he was able to get a little bit of spread on that, and the High Templar does go down, so there will be no more storms.
Yeah, but
huge
just that,
Phoenix numbers, though.
Just that little bit of damage from that storm on those mutas can spell the difference between the mutas and the Phoenix in that engagement. But oh my gosh, that muta number is so high.
Yeah, they were split into two groups there, and that's why the Phoenix were doing some pretty big damage, but they have regrouped now, and this is going to be hard for City. This push, I think, is doomed to fail, and there go all the Void Rays. That Phoenix is trying to wrap around and do something, but not a lot's happening, and all his buddies die, and now he's going to go down to... Oh, no.
That poor like Phoenix all by himself. I'll save you! For ire!
Those Zealots were able to take down that fourth base, however. The mutas did turn back and try and hit him, but it was not fast enough.
So now the muta's going to move back out again after ravaging the main, and the natural going to move into the third base as City pokes down here to the third, but realizes, no, I can't do it, as he needs to really get all these Phoenix together, but he needs like 10 to 12 Phoenix to really do a good deal of damage to this number of mutalisks.
His control of these Phoenix is phenomenal, though. He's getting great concaves on them and microing them beautifully.
Yeah, he does, but he slips up there a little bit and loses 3 to 4 Phoenix flying right through the middle of the mutas. Those glaives.
And that's just, those are numbers that he can't afford right now. He cannot afford to lose any of these Phoenix. He needs every single one. Sat's doing a great job of trying to keep that Corruptor in between the mutas and the Phoenix to take those shots.
Yeah, 1 to 2 Corruptors along with a group of mutas can really make the Phoenix not do very much damage. But really all he has right now is Phoenix. He needs something else because Sats at any point could remake a bunch of Hydras or a bunch of Zerglings and really do a lot of damage. Now he does have making more Corruptors as he realizes the number of Phoenix that City's making, so that's going to be a big deal. But as soon as he gets in a good position and remakes a ground army, City could be in some trouble.
4 Zealots are going across the map. They're kind of walking into the middle of these Zerglings. I'm not sure what they're going for. They're not on attack move, so they are going to get cleaned up by these Lings before doing much of anything. That is not what City wanted there. So many Corruptors, though, and that's going to really shut down the ability of this Phoenix force to do much of anything.
This Phoenix still being a pain in the side for Sats. The Corruptor's getting behind the mutas. The mutas taking a lot of shots here. Oh my gosh, a lot. 2, 3, 4, 5 more mutas go down. Those Corruptors are on the wrong side. All the mutas are going to go down here.
And those Corruptors can't keep up with the Phoenix, so the Phoenix are going to be able to do a lot of damage without many Mutalisks on the field. It looks like more Corruptors are being made.
Yeah, it looks like some Zergling's going to swing around here. One cannon is well protected by these pylons, so it's going to get quite a few shots in. If he can get another warp round off of Zealots, but it looks like they're not going to try and make a too big of an issue. Oh, but this fourth base here is unprotected at all. No Spore Crawlers, only Spines. These Phoenix lifting up and killing so many drones. If City can keep doing poking damage like this, he might be able to get himself in a better position.
Sats is lumbering his his Corruptors rather across the map, but the Phoenix catch wind of that and get out of there. Sats is making Hydralisks now. He's realizing that those Corruptors are not being as effective as he thought they would, as the Phoenix were able to pick off a lot of those Mutalisks.
If we look at the workers killed, it's 43 to 32, so not a huge disparity here. But if we look at the Army tab, the Army supply of Sats is huge compared to City, 94 to 47. So,
and I mean, just looking at the food differential, one would think that this game is over. But the micro of City has just been phenomenal, keeping the army of Sats pinned back and doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, 20 Hydras and 16 Corruptors in the field now. So this is going to be the army that Sats needs to deal with the army that City is producing here. Now, going back to producing Void Rays, knowing that there's more Corruptors going down. Void Rays is actually excellent against Corruptors. With the Prismatic alignment, do a ton of damage as the Corruptors are an armored unit.
But the army differential, like you said, is going to be the the Daybreaker for Sats, or I'm sorry, for City, as even with all this air, just the sheer numbers are going to overwhelm him, I think.
Yeah, Sats totally abandoned pretty much every other tech path he had, going with only air now. As his main was ravaged, he lost all of his Templar archives, pretty much everything else with his Stargates there aligned at his natural.
And Sat's playing this so well. He knows that he can attack in certain angles, but this is going to be the big fight. Oh my gosh, the Void Rays all targeting the Hydralisks on the left, not targeting the Corruptors. Corruptors getting huge damage. Now the big liftoff on those Hydralisks. but there's just so many units here, and the Void Rays are falling, the Phoenix are falling, trying to warp in some Zealots to take care of what's left, but it's just not going to be enough.
Yeah, Sats was able to clean that up
GG.
handily. That's GG, but if he would have used Corruption, he could have made it quite the show of it because it would have gone down so much faster. Corruption on all those Void Rays, they would have gone down so fast, but really good play by both players. I mean, as a Protoss player, I really respect what City did because those were really hard spots with all those units coming in. Both Protoss players now, with Muta's coming in on one side and the army on the left side, it really takes a lot of control, a lot of micro to deal with all that, and City held on way longer than I expected him to.
Absolutely, that food differential was very big for a lot of that game, but Sats was able to do a lot of runarounds, still be able to do some economic damage while that micro was happening, so even though he was able to delay the game, he was not able to get the economic advantage that he was hoping to attain.
Yep.